Okay, in this video, we are going to learn how to create a mandala and more specifically, how to use the polar grid tool to do it. So I want you to go open Illustrator and go to Create New, whether you select Create New, whether you go to File and then New, or whether you hit Command N to get a new document. You need a square document. So let's do a 12 by 12, and it must be inches, square document, and say OK. Oh, excuse me, I had a setting on here previously with my artboards to have 6 artboards, so it was defaulting to that. So I'm going to delete the additional artboards. Okay, so I still have my 12 by 12, Command 0 to full screen, Command R to see the rulers. Okay, after you hit Command R to see the rulers, I want you to click and drag from the left-hand margin ruler and bring it to the center and put it at the 6-inch mark. And then from the top, we're going to also click and drag and bring it down to the 6-inch mark. Now we need to come over here to what might be for you the line segment tool is most likely the tool on top. I want you to click and hold, and I want you to come down to the polar grid tool. After the polar grid tool is showing, I want you to double click that tool, and that's going to give you the polar grid tool options panel. Okay, so now we're going to come over here, concentric dividers and radial dividers. Concentric is number of rings, and radial dividers is number of slices to those rings. So think of it like a pizza or a pie, and this is going to give us our shapes. I'm actually wanting 12 radial dividers and 0 concentric dividers. Well, let's do 1 concentric divider. That should cap it off. So let's see how that works. We're going to hit OK. From this, we're going to come to our center. You need to make sure that View and Smart Guides is selected. So you're going to come over here to the center, and you're going to click in the center, and while you're doing that, you're going to hold Option Shift. And you can see, oh, I did end up with 1 extra ring in the middle. Let's delete that, come back here, double click here, and let's do 0 concentric dividers. And we still should get our circle on the outside, but nothing in the middle. Okay, so now we're going to start in the center, Option Shift, and I'm going to pull and drag that out. Now I have 12 equal segments here, 12 equal slices, and I want to create this radial design, and it's a mandala. That's a design around a center point, a circular type of design. So I am going to, the problem is I want my top piece of the pie to be at the very top instead of a line. So I'm going to hit the rotate tool and Option, and I'm going to click, and I want to rotate this. This is 360 degrees, obviously, all the way around. Each pie shape, since there's 12, it's 30 degrees, so I want it to shift by half. So we're going to say 15 degrees, and then we're going to say OK. And so now we get our straight up and down, dividers, or straight up and down pie slices. So I am going to come back over here. I want to clear, let's expand that, Object Expand. You know what, let's not do that. Let's just turn it into a guide instead. So we're going to go View, Guides, Make a Guide, and so then this becomes a guide. This guide, let's unlock our guides, and I want to get rid of this guide, and I want to get rid of this guide, and I'm just clicking on it and hitting delete. Okay, now I have my guides for designing my mandala. Really, the only thing I need to worry about, now I need to come back and lock these again so they won't move around while I'm working. The only thing I want to worry about is this top shape. So we're going to zoom in. I want you to create as detailed as possible pie shape there at the top. So apply everything that you've learned so far about tools and use those in what we're going to do here. So I'm actually going to use the polygon tool, and I want to come down and get a triangle, and I'm going to let's see, I wanted it to be straight. Let's do that. I'm going to turn it. Now everything that you do, you need to think about how it's going to look as it travels all the way around here. So let's start out with one. Let's Command C, Command F. Bring it down. Make it smaller. Command C, Command F. Bring it down. Make it smaller. Command C, Command F. Bring it down. No, I think I gotta go further. Make it smaller. And I'm just thinking, you know, how can I make repetitive shapes? How can I make this interesting? You know what? I think I need my guide back here in the very center. So then I know that all of my triangles are coming right down the center of that pie shape. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, and then I'm going to make this smaller also. Okay, and then I think we'll do, a circle. Let's copy those as well. And before you duplicate this, go ahead and make it whatever colors you want it to be. So, but I really want you to think about, how many shapes can you put into this one triangular design. And it doesn't have to have triangles. Mine just has triangles. It does not have to have triangles. But you need to really think about it, because you want to have as detailed as possible. And I can use my center to kind of guide the way there. I'll come back and color all this in a little bit, and what I could have done was make that and inside the triangle before I copied all of these, which probably would have made more sense. But we'll just go ahead and make that a circle. Okay. There's still many, many things that could be done with this design. Okay. So I'm hoping that you'll have many, many shapes in your pie section here. Let's see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I just think that there's a lot. I just think that it's possible to have a lot more than that. And I would not say that this is an interesting design, but it's a start. Let's see. Six. Four. So there's really no reason for me to continue to just make shapes, because you all can do that for yourselves. But this gives you an idea of the level of intricacy that we're looking for. not sure why that's not letting me alter this size. Let's come back over here. Well, I could keep playing with that, but then what you need to do is you need to come into each shape, and you need to decide on a color. So, and it can have an outline, but it doesn't have to have an outline. It's too similar, but you can play around with this for a long time. Probably should have started out darker, but you get the idea. And I would continue to go through here and color these. I'm just trying to do something with this real quick so that you can see how I duplicate it. I've used complementary colors here, mostly because I think they look good together. I like this group of complementary colors, and so I like purple and yellow together. Let's do purple. And let's make that one. Okay, so let's zoom out or do full screen. We're going to select all of this and we're going to group it. Now we're going to come over here to the rotate tool. we're going to hit option and click the center as we do it. And we want this design to repeat, well, let's do it this way. We want it to repeat 12 times over 360 degrees divided by 12 times. We're going to want to preview that. And instead of hitting OK, we're going to want to hit copy. And then we're going to hit Command D with each one. And there we have our final design. So I hope you come up with something even more exciting and more interesting. And see, then after you do this, right here in this center, you can add additional shapes to kind of finish that off. And let's hit copy and paste. Oops. Paste to front. And you could go on and on with this, but there is how you would do it. You would hit go back to view, and you would clear your guides so you can better see your design. Good luck with your mandalas. You can also put a color in the background. We could do the entire artboard. Let's do that with a gradient. And let's come over here and get our gradient panel. And let's see, bring that here. Let's make that, I think that could be white. Okay, and instead of from side to side, we can go radial. And actually, let's flip it. Let's go purple this way and white this way. And we could bring that out a little bit. And say okay. And then let's send that to the back. And there we have our background for our mandala. So I hope you enjoyed this technique, and I hope you come up with something even more exciting for your mandala. You need to save it and save it as a PDF and turn it into Google Classroom. You can title it your last name, your first name, and the number of your project, whatever semester you were in, what project that would be, and get it on your desktop. And then you'll be able to turn it into Google Classroom. So you'll see that show up over here for me on my desktop. Thank you for listening, and good luck with your project.